Welcome back, everyone, and I want you to settle in for a moment because what we are about to talk about is something that is quietly approaching, something that is now just 28 days away, and it has millions of people across this country watching the calendar with disbelief, anxiety, and a lot of unanswered questions. If you are receiving Social Security retirement, SSDI, survivor's benefits, spousal benefits, SSI, VA benefits, railroad retirement, SNAP, or if you are living on any kind of fixed or low income, this is not background noise for you. This is personal. This is your rent, your groceries, your medication, and your peace of mind. And that is exactly why we need to break down what is coming, what it really means, and what you should and should not be worried about as we move toward the end of this month. Right now, there is a growing sense of concern because the government is once again running straight toward a funding deadline. In just 4 weeks, the temporary funding that reopened the government back in mid-November will expire. That means unless lawmakers act, we are staring down the very real possibility of another government shutdown beginning at the end of January. For many people, especially those who lived through what happened last fall, this brings back some very painful memories. And honestly, that reaction makes complete sense. Before we go any further, I want you to understand where I am coming from. I have walked through shutdowns, benefit scares, payment delays, and policy changes with this community before. I have seen the stress, the fear, and the frustration that comes with living on a fixed income while decisions are being made far away in Washington. My goal here is not to scare you, and it is not to sugarcoat reality either. It is to give you clear, honest information so you know exactly where you stand. Think back for a moment to October and the first half of November last year. Most of you do not need help remembering it. The government shut down for 43 days, the longest shutdown in U.S. history, and for people relying on benefits, it was brutal. During that shutdown, many families saw delays, confusion, and in some cases, complete interruptions to critical assistance. SNAP recipients in particular were hit hard, and for some households, it meant real hunger and real desperation. That experience left scars, and it is the main reason so many people are worried right now. Here is what happened after that shutdown. Lawmakers passed a short-term funding bill to reopen the government, but they did not fund the entire year. Instead, they kicked the can down the road. That temporary extension runs out at the end of this month, specifically January 30th. On paper, the government is funded through Friday night. On Saturday, January 31st, if nothing changes, the government shuts down again. Now here is the part that has a lot of people shaking their heads. Since reopening the government in mid-November, lawmakers have had more than a month to work. What have they done with that time? They took vacations. They took weeks off. And when it comes to passing the full set of funding bills needed to keep the government open through the end of the fiscal year in September, they have done almost nothing. That is why, based on everything we are seeing right now, the chances of another shutdown are not small. They are very high. To be clear, nothing is guaranteed yet. Lawmakers could still come back and strike a deal at the last minute. They often do. But looking at the calendar, the workload, and the lack of progress so far, it is realistic to say that we are on track for another shutdown in just 4 weeks. Whether it lasts a few days or stretches on for weeks like the last one, nobody knows. That uncertainty alone is enough to cause stress. So, who does this affect? The short answer is everyone who depends on federal programs in any way. Social Security beneficiaries are watching closely. Disability recipients are paying attention. Survivors, spouses, SSI recipients, VA beneficiaries, railroad retirees, and people on fixed incomes are all paying attention because shutdowns have caused real harm in the past. SNAP recipients in particular have every reason to be nervous given what happened last fall. Now here is where I need you to slow down and really listen, because this is the most important part of this entire discussion, and it is genuinely good news. When lawmakers passed that short-term funding bill back in mid-November, they also passed several long-term appropriations that run through the end of the fiscal year. One of the biggest and most important of those was funding for the SNAP program. What that means is this. Even if the government shuts down on January 31st, there will be no lapse in SNAP benefits this time. Let me say that again because it matters. If we enter a shutdown at the end of January and it stretches into February or even March, SNAP benefits will continue. There will be no repeat of what happened in November. No sudden cutoff. No delayed payments. No panic about how you are going to buy food. SNAP is fully funded through the end of September 2026. That funding is already locked in. So for anyone who went through the nightmare of missed food benefits last year, that specific scenario is off the table for this upcoming shutdown. Your EBT card will still work. Your benefits will still be deposited. That safety net is protected this time. This does not mean a shutdown would be painless. It never is. Government shutdowns cause disruptions. Some offices may close. Certain services may slow down. Phone lines can become harder to reach. Processing times for some things can be delayed. But the core benefits that keep people alive and stable are treated differently. Social Security benefits are considered mandatory spending. That means retirement checks continue even during a shutdown. SSDI continues. Survivors' benefits continue. Spousal benefits continue. SSI payments continue. These checks do not stop just because the government shuts down. That is a critical point that often gets lost in the fear and noise. Now, just to be completely transparent, there is a hypothetical situation far down the road where SNAP could be at risk again, but it has nothing to do with this January deadline. If, much later in the year, we reached October and there was another shutdown that dragged into November without new funding in place, then yes, there could be problems again. But that is months away, and a lot can change between now and then. On top of that, with midterm elections looming, it would be extremely risky politically for lawmakers to shut down the government right before voters head to the polls. That makes another fall shutdown far less likely. For now, it is not something you need to lose sleep over. The bottom line as we approach the end of this month is simple. A government shutdown is very possible, maybe even likely, but your most critical benefits are protected. Your Social Security checks are not going away. Your SSI and disability payments will continue. Your SNAP benefits are safe this time. That alone should bring at least a small sense of relief compared to what many of you felt last year. At the same time, this is a reminder of just how chaotic things can be when you are living on a fixed income and relying on systems that are constantly being argued over. That is why staying informed matters so much. It is also why this year is shaping up to be a big one. If you thought the last year was intense, the coming months are going to be full of funding battles, policy debates, and potential changes that could impact benefits in different ways. Some of those changes could be positive. Others might require close attention. Either way, being prepared is everything. Right now, the smartest thing you can do is not panic, but also not tune out. Make sure you are enrolled in every assistance program you qualify for. If you receive SNAP, check whether you might also qualify for help with utilities, housing, or prescriptions. Those programs can make a huge difference, especially during times of uncertainty. And most importantly, stay connected and stay informed. Because when something changes in Washington, it often affects people on fixed incomes first and hardest. I know this kind of uncertainty is exhausting. You worked your entire life. You paid into the system. You should not have to constantly wonder whether your benefits are safe. While none of us can control what lawmakers do, what we can do is make sure you have clear, accurate information instead of rumors and fear. That is how you protect yourself. So yes, we are 28 days away from a possible shutdown, but this time, you can breathe a little easier knowing that your food assistance is protected and your core benefits will continue. You are not alone in this, and you do not have to navigate it blindly. If this video helped clear things up for you, make sure you like the video, subscribe to stay updated, and share this with anyone you know who is on Social Security or living on a fixed income. This information is too important to keep to yourself. Drop a comment below and let me know how you are feeling about the end of the month and what questions you still have. I read every comment, and your concerns help guide what we cover next. Take care, stay informed, and I will see you again very soon.